Please welcome the engineers. Once again, good evening, everyone. Welcome to Rensselaer in Houston Fieldhouse for tonight's ECAC matchup between Brown University and your homestanding Engineers of Rensselaer. Let's meet tonight's starting lineups. First, the visitors from Brown, starting in the goal, number 33, Tim Ernst. On defense is number 11, Max Gottlieb. And at right defense, number 25, Brandon Feil. The starting forwards for Brown at left wing, number 26, Tommy Marchand. At center for Brown, number 27, Mark Niclario. And at right wing, number 28, Nick Lappin. The rest of the Brown team, their head coach is Brendan Whitted. Fans, tonight's RPI starting lineup is brought to you by Dunkin' Donuts. Dunkin' Donuts' new dark roast blend features a bold start and a smooth finish, just like your Engineers. Leading your Engineers on the ice tonight, the junior engineer, Michael Phelan. Starting in the goal, a freshman from Sault Ste. Marie, Ontario, number 1, Cam Hackett. On defense, a senior from Williamsville, New York, number 24, Chris Bradley. At right defense, a sophomore from Oakville, Ontario, number 19, Mike Prepovesis. The starting forward line for the Engineers and left wing, a sophomore from Stockholm, Sweden, number 12, Victor Lilbergen. At center for the Engineers, he's a junior from Rochester, New York, number 14, Riley Bourbonnais. And at right wing, a junior from Georgetown, Ontario, number 27, Jake Wood. The rest of the Engineers, their head coaches, Seth Appert, assistant coaches, Brian Vines and Nolan Graham. Ladies and gentlemen, we ask that you please rise, and before the game begins tonight, we ask for just a moment of silence to remember those lost in the tragic events in Paris yesterday. Thank you. And now please remain standing as the RPI Pep Band will play the national anthems of Canada and the United States of America.
Face things off here. The Engineers have fared pretty well against the regular season other than last year, but then a couple of years ago it was Brown who ousted RPI from the ECAC hockey postseason, and actually done it a couple times in recent history. So,
and don't forget that last, the more recent memory is that Brown swept the Engineers in the regular season last year for the first time in almost 20 years. Not something that happens very frequently. More often than not, the Engineers are the ones taking 4 points. This is the kind of game that RPI, if they want to prove that they belong where they are right now, up at the top of the ECAC, they have to win games like this. That's really the bottom line. Last night was a different type of proving. Tonight is kind of this is a game that they need to win.
Underway here from the Houston Fieldhouse. Engineers skating from right to left. The Bears in all brown with white trim skating from left to right. As they'll dump the puck in, it does Brown. Engineers trying to clear it out through the near side. It comes all the way by File and down the ice. And it will be icing on Chris Bradley and the RPI Engineers just 17 seconds in.
Probably the top line for Brown to look out for is a sophomore. All sophomores, all NHL draft picks. Max Willman, Sam Lafferty, and Tyler Bird. That's part of that dynamic attack that Brown has that they haven't had in a long time that Seth Apper was talking about before this game started.
Face off in the RPI zone near side. Pushed forward out of the zone by Victor Lil. Jagrino carrying on further. Trying to get around File, gets into the corner, picked up Wood. Wood trying to center, hits a skate, goes behind the goal. Chopped around to the far side, half wall, Bears on it, and they'll move it on out to center. On the move and into the RPI zone, Gottlieb shot in on goal from a distance, and they'll be held onto by Hackett.
Another top line for Brown no longer includes Matt Laredo, who graduated last year.
Finally.
But he's been replaced on arguably the #1 line for Brown by freshman Tommy March. And Lappin's line mates, Mark DeClario and Nick Lappin, are still together, however. So that's another line that RPI is going to be looking out for this evening defensively.
Face off again near side of the RPI zone. One back by Miller, but nice job to jump on the puck by Max Willman. They'll move it back behind the RPI goal. Jared Wilson shoulders his man off the puck, but jumping right into the play is Tyler Bird, sophomore this year, excuse me. A penalty coming up. It's going to go on the Engineers, touched up by Parker Reno. It's going to be a cross check in the corner. Couldn't quite see it. We had the boards to deal with and glass in that corner. So not a real clear view for us there to get Jared Wilson, it looks like.
Well, for the first time in the last couple of weeks, it's not Jake Wood drawing a penalty during the first minute of the game. Instead, it's Jared Wilson with a cross-checking call with 19:03 left in the first period. So very early in this game, we're going to get an opportunity to see the RPI penalty kill going to work. They've been pretty good this season, 41 for 48 so far, which is 85.4%.
Draw coming up here again on the near side. RPI's penalty kill has been good this year, 85.4%. File off the offensive zone face-off win, works up the boards, gets it back from Leclario, and now down low. To the far corner they go. Lappin behind his own back, played it behind the goal. Engineers intercepting clear. That was Bradley. Not much going on for Chris Bradley offensively this year, but he's continued to play a stalwart blue line position in the among the team leaders in block shots. He has been all year. As the Bears move into the zone far side. Good hip check thrown by Reno. Puck behind the net. Bourbonnais chops at it. Trickles to the near side. First one to it's going to be Parker Reno as Brown kind of backs off in the play and allows Reno to clear it all the way down. Staying on side on the forecheck is Schrader. He steals the puck away but loses an edge and goes down behind the goal. Was trying to beat Tim Ernst around the net and fell down. Bears have it behind their own net now as they look to break out on the power play. Another minute 10 to go on it. Played far side, spinning around Nick Lappin. Lappin 2 goals and 3 assists already for 5 points in 4 games. And now falling down in center ice was Lappin to the cheers of some RPI fans. Bouncing puck in the zone. Nice hand-eye by Hampton to just swat it right out of the zone. That'll force the Bears to restart in their own end. It's Brady Shue, freshman from Eden Prairie, Minnesota. Backs up all the way to his own end. Near side now, Lafferty into the offensive zone. Gets his stick whacked by Miller. Clearing attempt, just enough on it to get it out of the zone. Shu will chase it down the neutral zone, backing up to his own end, to his own blue line. Now he'll work it up the far side boards. Pass ahead for Willman. Willman up the wall, trying to get around Prapavesis. Fires it behind the net. He fell down on the play. Kept in along the near side by Lafferty. Behind the goal. Poked at by Corcoran. Now to the circle. Shot coming, was blocked. Turning and shooting again. Another try was blocked by Wood. Another penalty here. No, maybe not. Faceoff looks like it's coming out of the zone. Maybe a hand pass. I didn't see the initial call. Referee made the call from behind the net, and I still can't tell why he's pointing that way. But the faceoff's going to come outside the zone.
So with 11 seconds left on the penalty kill, not too much going on for the RPI penalty kill. Brown's power play not terribly strong, although it is a small sample size, 1 for 7 so far this season. That's 14.3%. They've actually given up more shorthanded goals, which is 2, than they've scored power play goals of 1, which makes them -4 on the power play.
That's not good. Puck around to the far side half wall. Where Brown really hasn't played well in the first 3 games up until now their 4th game. They beat Union last night. They came back in Schenectady. Tough place to play. RPI trying to clear it out near side. They kill off the penalty. Puck's broken up along the near side boards by Tyler Wood of Manchester, Massachusetts, a defenseman for the Bears, but it's the Engineers who now break out to center with it. Schrader off the wall, trying to get it ahead for Nanny. Nanny red hot, 4 points in 2 games for him in his last 2 here. As it's moved out to center ice, Lappin has it there. Lappin off the near wall, shot from a tight angle over the top of the net. Picking it up on the other side is Alexi Rossi from Finland. Engineers take it away and move it to center. Melanson crosses center. He'll dump it in and get a change. Back to pick it up behind the goal is Gottlieb, freshman for the Bears from Old Bridge, New Jersey. This one shot all the way down the ice. Should be icing. Oh, they wave it off. Prapavesis duels in the far corner for the puck. Fulton trying to clear it up the boards. It's broken up. Some help from Bourbonnais, kept in the zone. Wrist shot coming way wide off the glass. Rossi shot it wide. Now back behind the goal. Trying to move it there was Middleton. Taken over by Prapavesis. Engineers have it now in their own zone. High in the air from Orval. Glove down by File at the red line. Throws it near side right at Fulton, who turns it right back the other way for the Engineers. He'll cross center. Fulton around the dump in. He'll chase it down in the near corner. Fulton takes a hit from Rossi. Picked up Fulton. Wraparound try right through the top of the crease and out. Near side. A good hit thrown as Moore keeps it in. Rolled around to the far point. Hampton trying to pinch to keep it in play. Won't, or in the zone rather. Back to the RPI end. Far corner it goes. Moved up the wall by Moore, and first it came from Orval. Now Gillespie absorbs the hit, moves on out to center with it off the boards and into the corner. Gillespie behind the net by himself. Takes a hit, goes down right back to his feet, pinching in Moore. Moore back, rolls the puck behind the net. Lost in the far corner, race for the puck as they continue to kind of duel for it there. Will Scherer back there. Now Moore pinching again up the boards. RPI is going to get a change here. That'll allow the Bears to move the puck out to center ice. They get it to the neutral zone, and it's shot right back in by Hampton. And now around to the near side. Wood flying into the zone. Runs into Scherer, and they both go down. Puck back out to center now. Picked up Wilson. Right back into the Brown zone it goes. And now a chance for Schrader. He shoots, and a blocker save is made. Puck in the near corner now. Wood trying to pass it back out to the slot. That one's read and intercepted and moved out by the Bears with speed. Here's Willman into the offensive zone. Turns into a 2-on-3. And now a big hit in the corner. Wilson drilled his man and is picked up by Schrader. Schrader back behind the goal. Reno, he tries to find it there. Bird with him. Now Wood passes it back up the far wall for Liljegren. Kicking it to himself. He'll just dump it in. 6 minutes into the first period, no score. Shots are 2-1 RPI. Bears have it there. Willman to center ice for Bird, who just chips it in on goal. Bouncing puck will be settled by Hackett. He'll leave it there. Bradley, D-to-D for Prapavesis. Skates center ice with it, throws it far side. Little of a pick play. Touched into the zone by Melanson, but he can't control. Off the glass by Shu. Bouncing puck at center. Played on further for Miller. He can't control the pass, and the Bears are headed back the other way. Lappin has it there with Tommy Marchand. Marchand just dumped it in. Engineers will have it in their own zone near side. Prapavesis. Stick handling goes D-to-D far side for Bradley. Now to center near side for Melanson. He'll cross center ice and dump it into the zone. Swatted right back out to the neutral zone by the Bears. Here comes Nick Lappin on the move. Lines up a slapper. That one's blocked by Hampton. Back out to center it goes. Couple of Bears are offside. Still going for the puck anyway. Hampton has it now. Nearly gave it away to Lappin. Poked to the far side of the RPI zone. At least out of danger for now. Rossi trying to chase it down there. Back out towards the point. Chipped off the boards by Nanny, but it's right to the defenseman Gottlieb. Engineers have it back in their own zone once more. Bourbonnais chips it to the Bears end of the ice, and they're right back out to center with it. Flipped into the near corner of the RPI end. The younger Tim Lappin on the puck now, sophomore from St. Charles, Illinois. Played around to the far side of the zone. Now it's Tommy Grant. Down the middle looking for Liljegren. Liljegren to the far corner with the puck. Stops with it there. Gets bumped from behind. Played back to the point. Near point Wilson. Wilson pulls it back, takes the shot, never got to goal. It was blocked away by the centerman Middleton. Glove down at the line, kept in nicely by Reno. To the corner it goes for Bourbonnais. Bourbonnais helped to the near side for Liljegren. Liljegren takes a look around, sees a man coming. That's Willman. And they tie up. Puck rolls to the far side now. Pinching in is Reno, but it's helped out to center ice by Alex Brink, the freshman from Hamilton, New York. Engineers back to their own zone. It's Wilson, cross ice pass. Eludes Reno for a second. He'll get back on it. Indirect up the wall for Bourbonnais into the zone. That's where the Bears take over once more. Shearer. Far side as a hit was thrown behind the play by Wood. That was Lonnie Clary. Now Brink into the zone, gets it back. Try to pull it back for a shot. Good back check by Travis Fulton, breaks up the play. And now driving the net, wraparound try out in the middle there, and the Engineers pick it up. It's Orval moving it out to center for Fulton. Not a big group out there. Fulton, Orval, and Clary. And Clary eventually gets a backhander, but nothing on it from the slot, and now he mixes it up with Corcoran.
Well, Lonnie Clary, not a guy who is any stranger to mixing it up. During 3 seasons with the Fairbanks Ice Dogs in the North America Hockey League over the last 3 years in junior, he amassed a total of 333 penalty minutes. So I'm sure he's not the type to back down from a challenge, and he was certainly challenged right there, but nothing comes of it. Still 5 aside here at the Fieldhouse. 11:20 left to go in the first period. No score, shots for 3-1 RPI.
Puck out to center. Bird helps it on further for Lafferty. Lafferty has a man with him. It's Willman. Lafferty trying to drive right around the RPI defender Bradley. Bradley lost an edge. Centering pass broken up by Schrader. Puck to the near corner. Bird goes into the wall with Bradley, and coming away with it, Prapavesis. Far side Gillespie. Dangerous pass. He gave it away to Lafferty. And the Bears take over in their own zone. File. Fired far side for Gottlieb. Off the wall. Did he get a piece? Yes, Willman did. No icing. Picked up by the Engineers now. A little congested on the near side of their own zone. A giveaway there. Lappin walking in. A shot broken up by Bradley, who bailed out a teammate there. Deflected up into the netting, but another poor decision by an Engineer in their own zone.
That was good defensive play by Chris Bradley there, and really what RPI needs when they are giving away the puck in their own zone. That's something that they've been prone to do early in this season. We haven't seen it from them quite as often recently. Maybe by no coincidence, they've actually been winning games lately, but a good play there by Chris Bradley, as you said, Perry, to bail out his teammates. Make sure that puck got up and out of play for the faceoff. 10:42 left in the first period, no score.
They have been doing a good job, but there's a shot from the point, goes wide. Rebound play, loose at the side of the net, and it goes back around to the corner. Just met this evening. They've made a couple poor choices in their own zone here. That one nearly converted by Lappin, and now trying to drive the net like Niclario. He was shut down. Nanny, bouncing puck neutral zone, helped on and carried on by Miller. Into the offensive end, has a man breaking the net. He'll fire it on goal. Blocker save made by Ernst. Puck spins to the far corner of the Bears zone. Outlet pass to center for Lappin. He's one-on-one with Wilson. Far side circle, takes a shot. Save made by Hackett. Caught him up high, and the rebound popped away, but the Engineers have it. Parker Reno, 2 assists last night, including a diving play to set up the game winner in overtime. 6 assists already for Parker Reno on the season. Puck out to center by the Bears. Shot right back into the zone by Hampton. Another play back out to the neutral zone, but Hampton waiting for it again. This time he's bottled up a bit by Marchant. Engineers fired in anyway. Shot off the near glass out to center ice. Mearsmore has it for RPI. A goal and 2 assists for Moore already in 10 games for the freshman. He'll fire it in from neutral ice. Gloved by Ernst. Leaves it at the side of the net. Good poke check. Liljegren knocked it free from McCardle as the Bears move it to center ice. Tapped in deep. First one to it. It's going to be a Bear. It's going to be Rossi. Around to the near side. Liljegren knocked his man down. Gets the puck back from Bourbonnais and the Engineers can break here into the zone. 3 across the line. Far side, Wood pulls it back, takes a shot that was blocked. Well defended that time by Shu, and now Shu out to center. Scoops it into the RPI zone, right in on goal. Helped aside by Hackett for Bradley. Up the boards, tipped in deep by Bourbonnais. First one, it's going to be Ernst, the goaltender. He'll play it far side corner, where he finds Gottlieb. Gottlieb back to the near side for File. Brandon File, now a senior out of West Vancouver. Near side, a shot. Pad save made on the kick by Hackett. Kept in along the wall far side by the Bears. That was Prescott. And now Melanson to center. File up the near wall, right into the abdomen of Bradley, who shoots it out to center. Back into the RPI zone it goes. Prapavesis has it, plays it back near side for Bradley. Down the middle, connects there to Orval. Orval spins back to his own zone. 8:20 to go in the first period. No score, RPI and Brown from the Houston Fieldhouse. Orval to the near corner. He'll chase after it behind the goal. Playing it far side for Prapavesis. Tried to kick it to himself, fell down. It's picked up by Gottlieb around the near side. Trying to pinch along the wall was Prapavesis. He didn't know that he stopped the puck, and it's now worked out to center by the Bears. Chopped back out to the neutral zone after it moves quickly into the RPI zone, and now Melanson will just loft it into the near corner where it's played by Scherer. Will Scherer up the far side ahead, too far for the intended target. That was Bird. It will be icing on the Bears. We'll have a stoppage in play.
Kind of interesting what RPI is doing with their forwards so far in this game. We saw some pretty consistent play last night from the top 3 lines, and we didn't see much of Jesper Orval or Lonnie Clary, but we're already kind of seeing them shuffled into the top 3 lines really as the kind of the 2 straggling wings. We got Clary out there right now with Fulton and Gillespie, who'd usually be out there with Zach Schrader.
Offensive zone face-off win. Wilson a shot through traffic. Rebound the side of the crease. Clary a try. Second effort. Cleared but not out of the zone. As it's picked up by Reno in the far point. To the circle now, into the middle. Clary can't control the pass. Trying to take a shot there was Fulton. He couldn't control the puck. And the Bears move it out to center. Near side, Gilman. He gets crunched by Wilson. Around to the near corner now. Engineers pick it up there. And move out to center. Fulton ahead for Clary. Clary on the move. He'll move it into the corner. He's tripped up and goes down. Everybody wants to call. Not going to get it here. They say he may have gone down a little easy there as Fulton picks it up near side point. And he's pushed all the way out of the zone with the puck. Stays on it, however, and carries it right back in. Travis Fulton, he gets hooked up, and he's going to draw a penalty here. It's going to go on Middleton. It's going to be a hooking call. 7:01 to go in the first period. Engineers are going to power play for the first time.
This is the right call to make. The Clary went down fairly easily. I'm not even sure if he might have lost an edge while he was going down, but Fulton was definitely hooked down, and Cameron Lynch makes the right call on this one. The penalty is going against
Middleton?
Davey Middleton, the junior from Novi, Michigan. So RPI going on their first power play of the evening, 5 for 34 so far this season, 14.7%.
Power play here for the Engineers coming in at a little under 15%. Bradley far side for Nanny. Down low, and Bourbonnais off the back of the net. Bourbonnais gets right back on it, plays it far corner for Wood. Wood hounded by File, over to help out Liljegren. Cross-ice feed into the skate of Hampton. That'll force him to track the puck down near side. Plays it down low for Bourbonnais, he lets it run. Liljegren trying to force his way out of the puck. In front, try to pass it down low. And a clearing effort made. Bradley can't quite keep it in. It was Marchand who did the job on the far side. He'll get a change. Engineers back out to center right to the minute 20 to go in the power play. It's Riley Bourbonnais stick handling through center. Nearly went down but stays on the puck. Bourbonnais to the far circle. Bourbonnais walking in. Blocker save. Rebound Liljegren. Hampton to drive. That one's turned away as well. Bourbonnais now to the far circle. One-timer kick saved by Ernst. Near side, Gottlieb trying to clear, picked up Hampton. Off the wall for Bourbonnais. Bourbonnais down low, he'll carry, trying to work around Gottlieb. Now Liljegren, he's double teamed, now triple teamed. Puck moved out to the slot, picked up Hampton, one-timer save, rebound pumped away. Liljegren, look for the wraparound. He'll carry it and flip it back to the point. Shot coming, a drive, saved by Ernst, paddled out to the slot and cleared out of danger. 40 seconds to go on an eventful power play thus far. 5:38 left in the first period.
Total
Tom
shooting,
wants to say something.
Total shooting gallery for RPI, and it kind of makes sense to look at Brown's penalty killing stats so far this season, only 58.3%.
Centering pass, one-timer wide off the try by Melanson as the Engineers just entered the zone. Now back to the point for Moore. Far side, one-timer Wilson. That one's blocked. Rebound clear, but not out of the zone. Near side, Prapavesis at the circle, pulls it back, centering pass, caught, fired. And this blocker save is made on the try by Miller. Miller had his stick just pressured enough. He didn't catch that shot cleanly. Moore at the near point with 4 seconds to go on the power play. A drive, saved by Ernst. Rebound is held, and the power play is over. Engineers do absolutely everything but score.
Yeah, Brown's penalty kill looked absolutely atrocious there. They were all over the place. RPI was basically leading them on like a string, and they were able to do whatever they wanted to. The only thing they didn't do is, like you just said, Perry, was score. They had probably 5 or 6 decent scoring opportunities. I think they hit the post at one point. On another drive, Ernst just happened to be in the right place at the right time, but really, really good power play for RPI, but helped out just a little bit by completely disoriented penalty killing by the Brown Bears.
Neutral zone, Reno up the far board. Schrader couldn't quite control the pass, or he may have been in. Chipped out to center, kicked at by Reno, right in front of the Brown bench area. Shots are 12-4 Engineers here with under 5 to go in the first period. Helped out, of course, by the power play. Both teams have had a man advantage so far. Both, of course, 0 for 1. Nanny near side neutral zone. Fires it far side, some room for Gillespie. Moves in. He'll fire it behind the goal, or play it behind there anyway. Pass near side for the younger Lappin out to center. That's Tim. Prabhavessis in the neutral zone. Now back to his own end. Near side for Bradley. Prabhavessis back on the puck. Looking for an outlet. Finds Nanny at the near side. Nanny into the offensive zone. He'll filter it down low. Picked up by Shu for the Bears, far side. Makes a move, trying to get away from Clary. And does for the time being, but Clary chases him right back down behind the goal. Working up the far boards for Willman. Willman back behind his own goal. Uses the net as a screen to get away from Clary. And now Willman to center near side, crosses the red line, still in the puck. Willman walking right in, still Willman, backhander, kick save made. Willman goes crashing into the back wall. It's picked up by Tim Lappin. Lappin then skates it right into the fallen Willman, who's headed back to the bench after making that strong run up ice. Here's Fulton now into the offensive zone. Travis Fulton to the near corner, stops at the half wall. Still Fulton. He's double teamed by one of them being Bird. Bird trying to clear it out near side. Gets it out to center. Hampton dueling for it there. Flips it across the line, but the Bears have it once more. Lafferty back for Wood. Here is Wood now. Tyler Wood near side neutral zone. Did he cross center? They'll say yes. Close at the red line. Played far side for Tommy Grant. Back behind his own goal for Hampton in the far corner. He'll leave it near side again. Rolled to the near side. Bourbonnais now up ahead for Liljegren. Liljegren will carry it out to center and flip it into the offensive zone with one hand. 3:04 left in the first. No score. RPI and Brown as the hit is thrown behind the goal by Liljegren and Wood. Liljegren being harassed there, carries it all the way to the high slot. Trying to feed it down low. He had a man breaking. It was Reno who had slid down into the corner as he had taken his position at the point, but they couldn't quite fit the pass through. Nice connection ahead to Bourbonnais into the offensive zone. Stops at the far circle. Bourbonnais waiting for help. Still on it. Engineers change a couple behind him. A backhand pass would have been spectacular, but it's picked off and moved out to center by McCardle. Josh McCardle, far side, trying to kick it with the skate there. Was Brink. Couldn't quite control, but does enough to get it deep. Engineers have it now. In the neutral zone, it's Melanson. Glove down by File. File in his own zone goes D to D to Schur. Schur to center, tipped into the RPI zone. Race for the puck. Parker Reno's going to track it down with some pressure coming from Corcoran. Near side of the RPI zone, it's Melanson. Can't quite clear the zone. Broken up by Joe Prescott. Prescott in the slot. He's triple team, lost the puck. Engineers have it now in their own zone. Nanny picking up speed behind his own goal. Eventually just leaves it there for Parker Reno. Under 2 to go in the first period. No score. Wilson through center, trying to find the skate of Nanny, and this should be icing on the Engineers. They get the whistle.
Shots on goal with 1:47 left in the first period are 12-5 in favor of the Engineers. I got to think that probably about 5 or 6 of those shots were on the Engineers' power play opportunity that they weren't able to convert. But honestly, it's been a pretty strong period for the Engineers offensively. They just haven't been able to put the first tally on the board.
Behind the net, centering pass, Lafferty actually was just in the circle. Couldn't quite get his stick on it. He's fighting for it back there now. Bird on the puck in the corner to the point. Near point Wood lines up a shot, saved by Hackett. Still loose, no whistle. Now we get one. And now Nanny just runs into the back of Bird, who's now sitting in the crease.
There's going to be a penalty here. I think it's going to be called on Nanny for usually being, I wouldn't say late into the play, but well after it was over, with Cam Hackett down on the ice covering the puck and getting snowed. Actually, it's Drew Melanson is going off. They're going to call a cross check with 1:31 left in the first period. So Brown going back to the power play. They are 0 for 1 so far this evening.
So second power play chance, as Tom mentioned here, with Melanson sitting in the box. In a scoreless game, RPI will hope this one carries over to the second with just a minute and a half to go in the first period. Face off, one back to the point. File has it there. Over to Gottlieb. Didn't get a lot on the pass, and now it's back out to center on the return effort from Lappin. Bears will recycle in their own zone. Into the RPI end, far side, wrap it around to the near side. Miller with a big swing at it. Puck didn't go anywhere. Now back towards the point, now to center. Not sure if Marchand saw the puck or not. But it's all the way down the ice, and the Bears will have to restart once more. 55 seconds to go in the first period. Not a lot going on other than RPI with a couple of near misses on their power play chance. Bourbonnais digs for the puck along the far point. Bears keep it in. Center blue line. Carrying on further. Neclario walking in. Centering pass. They score. Marchand gets the one-time finish in front of the RPI net, and it's a power play goal for Brown. They lead 1-0.
That was created by some veteran leadership out of Mark Neclario, seeking out that open ice. And I don't care what the numbers are when you're killing a penalty. You have to know which guys on the ice that you're going to be marking. And Riley Bourbonnais made a poor decision not to follow Mark Neclario to keep hounding him because somebody had to do it, and nobody did. He was wide open, had every opportunity to make the right choice, and he did right there, putting it on net. The rebound got through to put Brown up 1-0 here late in the first period.
Neutralized, puck flipped in by Liljegren. 24 seconds to go in the period. RPI trying to answer quickly here. Standing on the shot from the circle was Nanny. Puck back out to center ice. Bradley, he'll cross center, flips it to the Brown line, although doesn't enter the zone. Puck on the far side neutral zone. Bouncing puck to the RPI zone. It's Bradley again, tipped in deep by Liljegren. 1 second to go in the period, and that will do it for the opening frame. The Bears sneak a late power play goal and lead this one 1-0 after 20 minutes.
Scoring for Brown, first goal of the game, a power play tally at 19:24 of the first period. Tommy Marchand, his second goal of the season, with the assists going to Mark Neclario and Max Gottlieb. So that is the only goal of the first period, and honestly, it went against primarily the flow of play during the first. I thought RPI was really the more dominant team. Brown had their opportunities offensively, but other than that power play late in the period, they weren't getting second opportunities really at all, and that was really the best thing you could say about RPI's defense, because it could have been a lot better throughout the first period. We saw a couple of bad turnovers off some pretty light forechecking by the Bears. Really some bad errors by the defense that allowed Brown more opportunities than they probably would have. RPI unlucky to finish on their lone power play of the first period. They had plenty of opportunities. According to the stat sheet, they had 7 of their 12 shots were during that 2-minute period where they were on the power play. They did literally everything but score. They cycled the puck well. They held the zone well. Brown's penalty kill was completely out of sorts, and they still weren't able to put the puck in the net. I think once the penalty to Melanson came down, they were probably just hoping to get out of here without surrendering a goal, considering how dominant they had been in the first period. Now they have to go back there and think about just how dominant they played, and yet they're trailing 1-0. So we'll have to see if that kind of lights a little bit of fire in the belly. Sometimes those late goals can be a real deflating element, but it can also be kind of a spur as well if it comes in the right scenario. And that's probably the scenario that the Engineers are faced with here. Are they going to come out strong in the second period and rectify the situation? It's probably what they're going to need to do.
Yeah, it's pretty simple. It seems like they aren't playing poorly by any stretch of the imagination. So I think the opportunities will come more and more. I mean, they're already up to 12 shots. I think they had 19 all of last night.
Exactly, and that's something to build on. You put the puck on net more, you get the opportunity to score more goals. And unfortunately for RPI, it just didn't happen during the first period. Take a break, and we'll be back with the first intermission before we get to the second period. You're listening to Live coverage of Engineers hockey here on 91.5 FM, WRPI Troy.
shot into the RPI zone, and behind the net it goes. Lappin is there. He's tied up by Bradley. Clario trying to walk through another check of Bradley. Poked loose by Bradley once more, and now Bourbonnais picks it up, flipping out to center in the air, not controlled by Wood. And now it's Gottlieb who has it, and he gets crunched there by Wood. Back to his own zone File, and now Clario. Clario spins back behind his own goal. Down the middle, Clario backhands it deep as he was pressured off the puck. Wilson behind his own goal near side, skips by Bradley, and it'll be kept in near side by Lafferty. Bird down low. Bird one-handed on the backhand around to the far circle. Spins it right back behind the RPI net. Played on further by Wilson. Scherer trying to keep it in deep and does. Played to the far wall, helped out, but not out of the zone by Liljegren. Shot from the point went wide on the try by McCardle. And the Bears having the upper hand early on in the second period. We're just a little over a minute in. Engineers having a bit of trouble getting out of their own zone, and now they finally do. Picked up there by Scherer. D-to-D for McCardle. McCardle in the air near side corner. Bouncing puck tracked down by Jared Wilson. Wilson on the move. Fires it near side, touched into the zone by Fulton. As to avoid the icing, stopped there by the goaltender Ernst. And now a hit behind the goal. Moved on out of the zone by Scherer to the RPI line, flicked back the other way, bouncing puck right into the path of Gillespie, fed near side, shot, and a save made on the try by Schrader. Gillespie now in the far corner. Schrader on it, up against Prescott, back to the point, far side. Moore just fired off the backboard. Schrader, another try, now a wraparound look for Fulton, fires it off the side of the net. And it's picked up in the far corner now by Gillespie. Good cycling effort by this grouping for the Engineers. Schrader is taken down, trying to play it back to the point. It's intercepted and moved out to center ice. Flipped to the near corner. First one to it, Alex Brink. He's run into by Reno. Reno on his knees, plays up the wall, and now carried out to center by Kenny Gillespie. He'll scoop it high into the air to the far corner. Engineers will change all five as the Bears will get a partial change. They break it out of their own zone. It's File near side. Up ahead for Wood, towards the RPI line, intercepted by Orval. Orval turning, fires it into the zone ahead between Bourbonnais and Melanson. Now Orval back on it, flips it far side neutral zone for Hampton, up ahead for Melanson, who dumps it in. Far wall off a skate, carried out to center by the Bears. Rossi, he gets hit. Into the zone, Bourbonnais off the wall. File and Melanson go into it. Neither of them pick up the puck. Middleton up the far side, out to center ice. 3 minutes into the second period. Still 1-0 Brown. Prapavesis gets his hit awkwardly. Now a shot, an easy stick save by Hackett. The puck leaves the ice. The shot came from a tight angle far side.
RPI certainly needs to be doing more when they have the puck. Brown, their defense has been suspect this season, and it hasn't looked terribly strong here this evening. Part of it seems to be that they look a little bit, maybe, I don't know if intimidated is the right word, but RPI's physical play is bearing them fruit down in the Brown zone. They're just not really capitalizing on the opportunities that's creating for them.
Sure, near side, easy stick save, and a puck headed wide by Hackett. Near side corner, Wood takes it away. RPI looking to break here. 3-on-2 if they hurry. Could be a 4-on-2. Wood into the zone, far side circle. Pulls it back, takes a shot. Getting a stick in the way of that shot was Josh McCardle. And the sophomore from Roscoe, Illinois, breaks it up.
Yeah, when you've got numbers like that, you might want to take a look up. I know Jake Wood was pretty focused on where he was going. I'm not sure if he looked to his right, he would have seen at least two other guys, and there was another one trailing him. Might have been the better move there, but instead goes out of play in a face-off coming up in the Brown zone. 16:29 left in the second period. Brown up 1-0 on the Engineers.
They are now underway at Brandeis, I should say, RPI and Stevens. We'll keep you updated on the men's soccer score. Bouncing puck far side. It's played there by Wood. In the corner now, Liljegren. Liljegren out of the corner. He gets taken down there. Looks like he got a stick in the midsection. Puck dumped in by the Bears. Prapavesis back to pick it up. Mike Prapavesis near side for Schrader. He'll cross the blue line and dump it in. File picks it up for Brown. Up the far side boards, tipped along, picked up by Moore in his own end. Near side Prapavesis. Prapavesis back to the neutral zone for Drew Melanson, trying to pick up speed into the offensive zone. He's knocked down by Lafferty. Miller trying to help him out, but the Bears take over. File near side for Gottlieb. Gottlieb off an RPI stick all the way down the ice. Won't be icing. Rolling puck will be chased down by Mears Moore with some pressure coming from Bird. He'll try the far side. Skips by Lappin, or make it Lafferty rather. Up ahead, trying to find Nanny. This will not be icing on the Engineers. Puck behind the goal, picked up by Wood. Tyler Wood for Brown to the neutral zone. Engineers have it. Hampton near side. Up the wall for Nanny. He'll sweep it into the zone and go off in a change. Tyler Wood now for Brown. Up the far boards. Tapped in deep by Joe Prescott. Engineers back to claim it behind their own net is Reno. Now Wilson. Wilson firing down the middle. Gillespie gets a touch. Engineers are offside. They don't touch it in the offensive end and do touch up. Smart play, heads up play by Clary, and we play on. Brink. Left it near side, moving into the zone, sure, as Gillespie dumps one of the Brown players in the middle of the ice. Shot coming from the point that goes wide, and the try by McCardle. Now the puck back all the way down. It's going to be a whistle here, and interference call coming on the Bears. They're going to get Joe Prescott here.
We saw just how good the Engineers were on the power play the first time around. They did whatever they wanted, whenever they wanted for the most part. Held the zone very well, but didn't get that goal, so they are 0 for 1. We'll have to see if they can do just a little bit better on this turn. As I mentioned, coming into the game, Brown the worst penalty kill in the entire country. They are currently 8 for 13 on the kill, which is not strong.
Engineers win the draw. Bradley near point. Wrist shot coming wide of the goal. Hampton pinches up the far boards. Sweeps it into the corner. Helped it further behind the net. Picked off by McCardle. But the Engineers pinch on the near side. It's Bradley. Skips by Bourbonnais. A chance for Leclerc to clear, and he will as he wrists it all the way down the ice. Spinning puck will stop to the far side of Hackett. Left there. And it's picked up by Bradley. Chris Bradley down the middle, near side for Hampton. Hampton into the zone, far side, lots of room over there. Engineers trying to gain that ground quickly. Play to the near side, Hampton works it back towards the point for Hampton. Or should have said Fulton rather. Here's Hampton, fakes the shot near side for Fulton. Fulton down low, pass off the mark, controlled nicely by Bourbonnais. Fulton now, waiting. Fed far side, one-timer, save made by Ernst. Bourbonnais, near side for Fulton. He takes the wrist shot, that one's turned away. Bourbonnais back on it now for RPI. Center blue line, Bradley, slap shot coming, that one goes wide. Right back to the near wall for Fulton. Under a minute to go in the RPI power play, down to goal. Fulton near side circle. To the goal line extended for Bourbonnais. Now Fulton again, feeding it inside, looking for the deflection from Liljegren, didn't get it. Now shot near side, tough handle for Fulton, he won't do it, and the Bears clear. 40 seconds on the RPI power play. Not quite as potent as the first time around, but they're still getting their looks from right in the middle of the slot. Chris Bradley had one of them. He just ripped a slap shot wide. Now an errant pass from Prapavesis, so it's given right back to him. He'll backtrack to his own zone with 24 seconds to go in the power play. Moore, near side from Melanson into the zone. Melanson, far side feed. Shot coming, saved by Ernst. Rebound covered by the junior netminder, Tim Ernst.
Yeah, Perry, I've got to agree. They don't look quite as sharp as they were on their first power play opportunity, but they've still had their looks here on the man advantage in the second period, and they still haven't been able to get one through. A couple of bad maneuvers by, really just by them, have killed some very precious seconds, but still 14 seconds left on this penalty to the Bears, and the faceoff comes up to the right of Tim Ernst.
Draw coming here, far side of the Bears zone. It'll be Miller up against Leclerc. Moore, slap shot coming, deflected wide, picked up by Melanson, far side of the zone. Back down low for Melanson. Centering pass broken up. Now Prapavesis, 4 to go in the power play. Prapavesis behind the net for Melanson. Melanson waiting. Back behind for Prapavesis. Prapavesis trying to feed it in front. Now a breakaway chance if they can find Prescott. They can't. All the way down the ice it goes, but Prescott winning the race as he had a very large head start to negate the icing call. Bouncing puck near side of the RPI zone. Engineers 0 for 2 on the power play. Still trail at 1-0. 12:20 to go in the second period. Prapavesis now behind his own goal for Wilson. Back behind for Prapavesis. He'll wait behind Hackett and now carry out. The ice, Prapavesis stick handling through, pokes it on, no, is broken up. And now Tim Lappin the other way for the Bears, dumps it in. Down the middle of the ice, Prapoves's stick handling through, pokes it on, no, is broken up. And now Tim Lappin the other way for the Bears, dumps it in. He tangles up with Miller. Now Miller's the one who's going to get the penalty, I think. No, maybe both of them. I think both are going to go.
I think they're calling Miller, which is a little bit suspect here since he was certainly hauled down. They're calling it.
It's just Miller.
Yeah, they're calling a boarding call. I don't know about this one. It might have been. This one might have been worthy of a pair, since he was hauled down to begin with, and he got up and went after his man. So maybe a bit of a retaliatory strike there by Miller. Possibly ill-advised, but I kind of think the Engineers kind of ended up on the wrong end of on the short end of the stick on this one. But nonetheless, they have another penalty to kill off. They are 1 for 2 this evening. The only goal so far came on a Brown power play.
Here's File, far side for Gottlieb. To the far circle now. Gottlieb gets it back from Niclario. Now Niclario at the far point, waiting. Niclario, center blue line for Gottlieb. Back to Niclario, lost in his skates for a second. Now back to the point for Gottlieb. Fires it off of Niclario. Thrown to the middle of the ice, nobody home. Lappin, back to the point for File. File throws it towards goal, knocked out of the air. It's going to be a high sticking if they touch. And smartly, he does not. That was Marchand, the Brown goal scorer, who picked up his second of the year in the first period on the power play. Let it run. The Engineers almost gave it away in their own zone. That would have been tough to swallow there. Puck back behind the RPI goal now. Marchand shoots it around to the far point. Files over there. File near point for Gottlieb. Gottlieb down low to the circle now. Lappin at the hash marks at the wall. Down low again further. A shot coming. That one's blocked and cleared. Nice effort by the junior, Jake Wood. Doing it all there to get it out of the zone. Bears will track it down on their own end. 53 seconds on the Miller penalty. 10:49 left in the second period. Shots are still in favor of RPI by a 15-8 margin. That one shot off a body and into the Brown bench area. We'll have a neutral ice face-off upcoming.
I guess the new call of embellishment is when the ref punches his palm, which I thought was boarding, but they actually end up calling Miller for a dive. Which typically gets called along with whatever the infraction would have been, but it was not here. I'm not sure that was much of an embellishment. I thought it was pretty clearly interfered with.
I don't mind the call being actually made, only the dive and not both, because I think that happens sometimes. But in this case, you're right. I didn't see it quite at all. Maybe just a little bit of a tangle up.
Oddity.
Bears on their way out of their own zone. Corcoran shoots it into the far corner of the RPI end. Behind the net, Bradley trying to play it. Goes off of Bird. And a backhand clearance is made by Mike Prapovesis. 17 seconds left on the Brown power play. Big hit by Nanny in the corner, in the below the Brown goal line, but the Bears do come away with it. Lafferty down the middle of the ice, near side. Willman into the RPI zone, trying to carry around Reno. Reno stays with him all the way, and then slams him into the back wall. Bird trying to turn and shoot. He's tied up, lost the puck. Back to even here. The Bears still threatening. Miller trying to skate out with the puck. Wood was slowed up on his way out of the zone. Now it's just Miller by himself. Miller tried to walk around Shu. He is going to take a penalty here. I'm not sure for what. There's going to be a slash in the end. Did they get Shu or a hold?
Not sure who this is skating off.
I think it's Shu going off.
Yeah, that certainly seems to be the case. Holding is the call.
Holding.
So
okay.
Immediately after the Brown power play expires, turn around and RPI has another power play of their own. 0 for 2 so far on the man advantage tonight are the Engineers, but they've had their opportunities. It's just time for them to cash in.
Third opportunity of the night for RPI in the power play. This shot comes in. Oh, and looked like it. Hackett maybe didn't see it real cleanly, but he's able to glove it in the end and leave it there. Engineers fired into the zone. Fulton tried to play it back to the point. Second effort gets it back there for Bradley. One-timer far side, tipped on goal. Liljegren got the last touch on it. Save was made by Ernst. Now another try and a whistle. And we have a man in the crease, or the net's off. Net's off. Call off the Dogs.
Yeah, I wasn't quite sure about that one because the shot from, I think, Liljegren came with a real juicy rebound. And that's exactly when the whistle blew, but that's also happens to be when when the net came off. So first I was like, that can't possibly be right, but no, it was a legitimate whistle, and the faceoff comes to the left of Tim Ernst.
Face off, work back Bourbonnais, far side, one-timer blocked. Leclario trying to clear, he's tied up by Bourbonnais. Working it back down low, rolling puck behind the net. It's a battle for it. Liljegren trying to work it free. He's tied up. Poked at by Bourbonnais now. Move back up top. Hampton turning, shooting, his shot was blocked. Picked up by Schrader, carries it back to the far point, finds some room. Hampton now at the point. Schrader, far circle, back to Hampton. Settles down a bouncing puck. Bradley again. Minute 4 to go in the power play. Still 1-0 Brown. 8:42 left in the second. Shot was blocked, and the try by Liljegren hit a shin pad. Engineers do stay out, however. Bourbonnais over to Bradley. Now Bourbonnais near circle. Bourbonnais walking in. Down the Liljegren. Jam try, fired wide. This is going to leave the zone because Bradley's not going to be able to get there. Had to go all the way across the zone and wasn't able to get there in time. So RPI back out to center. Slammed in by Bradley. It'll roll around to the far side. Liljegren lets it run for Bourbonnais. 35 seconds to go in the power play. Liljegren near circle. Up top, Bradley. Near side for Liljegren, top of the circle. Down low. Jam try Bourbonnais. There's File just lying there. Broke up the play. Now Liljegren again. Pulls it back. Far side, saucer pass. Turning and shooting Hampton wide. 19 seconds to go in the power play now. Liljegren. Down low, Bourbonnais. Bourbonnais looking, turning, firing. He scores! Of the year, we are tied.
You know, if you heard a large whooshing sound just now, I think that's the collective breath of the RPI faithful kind of exhaling there, because third power play opportunity, third really just dominating, holding possession, holding the zone. Nothing had gotten through just yet. Finally, Riley Bourbonnais finds a way to pull one to the back of the cage for what at this point is kind of a long overdue goal for the Engineers. But they get one. They have tied it up at 1 with 7:54 left in the second period.
1-1 the score. Bears have it neutral zone. Poked free, a chance for Melanson to break into the zone. Melanson fires, saved by Ernst. Rebound popped away. As the rebound was helped into the corner by Shu. Engineers jump right back on it. Gillespie had his pass intercepted. And Brown out to center ice with it. Willman gets hit by Reno. Puck in deep. We have a whistle here and maybe an offside.
They're just announcing the scoring right now. The score is from Riley Bourbonnais, his 6th goal of the season. The assists are, I believe, to Liljegren and Hampton at 12:06 of the second period, excuse me. So a power play goal for the Engineers, a power play goal for the Bears, and we're all knotted up at 1 here in a second.
Scooped out to center by Hampton, right back into the RPI zone by a Bears stick. That was Gottlieb. Tracking it down in their own zone. Bears have it flipped in the air. Where'd it go on a play? That's what, at least what Travis Fulton said. We'll go by his word.
That is, in fact, the scoring officially. Bourbonnais from Liljegren for his 3rd assist of the season, and Hampton for his 2nd assist of the season.
Draw coming neutral zone. Won by the Bears. McCardle for Scher. And now Scher jumps on a loose puck. And it came off through a couple of sticks. That one went wide. Where did it go? Near corner. Not at all where anyone thought it was going to go. Now a jam try at the post. Holding his post nicely was Hackett. And the Engineers skated out to center. Schrader in the air. Gloved out of the air by Scher. Engineers are offside. And they'll check up at the line and head in on the forecheck. Scher, far side from McCardle. Back to the near side, broken up nicely by Schrader, trying to find Leclario there. And now Leclario does jump on a loose puck for Marchand. Marchand into the zone, flips it behind the RPI cage. Jake Wood, the first one to it. Shot around to the near half wall, Nanny. Lost it for a second, it's picked up by Marchand. Marchand behind the cage, far side, circle. Lappin to the point. McCardle over to Shu. Shu off of a foot. And Bourbonnais will play it near side. Leclario. I might be the only one other than me and you. Shu back to the neutral zone, and it's turned around by Marchand. Into the RPI zone, Bourbonnais. Hampton at the wall. Poked at, kept in the zone by Corcoran. Corcoran centering pass right on front, and the shot went wide on the backhand try. Now a blind backhand behind his body. That was Brink trying to center. Engineers going to try to clear, glove down nicely by Shu. Shu keeps it in. Down low it goes. Bradley trying to clear it out far side. A blatant icing, but the Engineers will take it here with 5:38 to go. Now a tight game, 1-1. We're in the second.
The RPI doesn't look as strong as you would have thought they would have coming off of a tying goal. Usually that's something that can swing momentum in your favor, especially when you're playing at home and especially when you've really had some good opportunities offensively throughout the game. But it's Brown instead that's really taking the initiative right now.
RPI, a face-off in the RPI zone. Hampton off the boards, can't clear. Bouncing puck, high slot, picked up by Willman. A wrist shot, that one takes a deflection up into the netting. We'll have a stoppage.
5:24 left to play in the second period. RPI and Brown are tied at 1. Shots here in the second period are 7-4 in favor of the Engineers and 19-11 in favor of RPI for the totality of the game. That leads to 10 saves on 11 shots for RPI freshman Cam Hackett, 18 saves on 19 shots for Yale's Tim Ernst.
Behind the RPI goal, off the defensive zone face-off win. Into the neutral zone, Liljegren had his stick tied up. It's being held by File. Willman helps it right back into the RPI zone. Reno around to the near side of the RPI end. Wilson off the wall. It was broken up by Willman. And he takes a shove from Wilson. In the skates of Melanson, far side of the RPI zone. He skates it out to center. Nice move to get free. Melanson near side for Wilson, jumping to the attack. Backhander all the way through the low slot area. Liljegren down the far corner. Liljegren walking in on the backhand. Flips one on goal. Saved by Ernst. Rebound. The puck's somewhere. No, I think that was a stick hitting the net. Puck's in Ernst, and now Miller gets roughed up a bit by Gottlieb, and they need to be separated.
Well, Miller wanted the puck to start with, so once he finally got it, he was ready to go to war. He was trying to find it, trying to keep swatting at it until the whistle blew, which is what you do. You know, you don't go too hardcore. You don't slash the netminder at all, but you tap his pads a little bit, see if you can shake something loose. But nothing came loose, so the ensuing faceoff comes to the right of Tim Ernst with 4:42 left in a tie game.
Face-off far side of the Bears end of the ice. 4:42 left in the period. Engineers have tied things up on the power play here in the frame. Nanny to the near point. Grant, wrist shot wide. Gillespie tied up, but he gets away from the check. Feeding it to the side of the goal. He tried a tight angle shot. Now it's under Ernst, and we get another face-off.
One thing Tim Ernst has done pretty well in this game is seal up the sides of the net, and that's been where RPI has been trying to poke the puck, but he's been doing a good job of keeping RPI from getting kind of cheap wraparound opportunities. What he hasn't been doing a good job of is holding the puck when the shot's coming from outside that area.
Poked at and kept in by Fulton for Prapavessis. Rattle around to the near corner. You're listening to live coverage of RPI Hockey, 91.5 FM, WRPI Troy. Perilous Garrison, Tom Reel from the Houston Fieldhouse. It's 1-1 RPI and Brown. Game 2 on the weekend. Engineers looking to stay unbeaten in ECAC hockey play. Fulton's upended behind the net, and we're going to get a power play for the Engineers.
Well, I've said it frequently, if you have a good penalty kill, you can get away with stuff like that, because if you take a penalty on a play in your own zone, more often than not, in the way RPI's killed penalties this year, you can get away with it because you are able to kill penalties. But the way the Brown penalty kill has been this season and in this game, they cannot afford to do that. And now they lose one of their best penalty killers as well, as Mark DeClario goes off for cross-checking with 4:08 left in the second period.
Draw coming here, far side of the Bears end of the ice. Clean win by the Engineers. Near side one-timer. Bradley looking for a deflection. He never got to Ernst. And now with speed to center comes Tyler Bird. Bird on the move into the offensive end. He'll turn right back out to center and then shoot it into the RPI zone. Shots 21-11 Engineers, as they'll start things out of their own end. Chris Bradley, near side for Hampton. He'll try the far side. There's an Engineer taken down. It was Schrader, and it forced him to lose his stick and cross over the blue line. That'll halt RPI's attack.
That's a good defensive play by Brown. They just upended Schrader at the right place, right along the blue line. He ended up falling into the zone. It kept the Engineers from being able to gain the zone without being offsides. So we see the faceoff coming back up at center ice with 1:36 left on the penalty to Nuclerio.
No score at Brandeis between RPI and Stevens there in the 24th minute of the NCAA soccer game. First round action. Puck right across the brown blue line. Right back carried in by Miller. Miller bumped from behind, stays on the puck in the near corner. Gets some help from Prapavessis, as well as another teammate I can't see. That's Miller again. Trying to work it back to the point. Now coming to help out is Wilson. And a chance for Brown to break here. Maybe a 2-on-1, 2-on-2 into the zone. Shot coming, saved by Hackett. He'll hold it in the glove. Short-handed effort by the Bears, but Cam Hackett able to make the stop.
Well, so far in this power play opportunity, RPI's fourth of the game, they have not looked quite as sharp as they did on their previous 3 encounters with the man advantage. But they've still got plenty of time left in this one. 1:02 remaining on the penalty to Nuclerio. 3:10 left in the second period. It's a tie game here between RPI and Brown, 1-1.
Puck won back by the Engineers. They'll have another 59 seconds of power play time. Hampton at the near side for Fulton. Skates over the center ice logo and throws it to the far corner. First one too, it's going to be Tyler Wood for the Bears. He'll try and clear and does all the way down. Hackett will have to play this one with the stick, leaving it for Bradley. And now a breakout attempt for RPI. Shooting in wide of goal. Ernst lets it run there. Wood chops it behind the cage for File. File clearing effort in the air all the way down again. Better on the PK for the Bears this time, as the Engineers are having a little bit of trouble establishing an offensive possession. Bradley, near side for Hampton. Into the offensive zone. Phil Hampton on the move. It knocked out of the air by Fulton behind the goal. And now it'll be cleared, glove down by Hampton, bouncing puck thrown into the near corner. Really all Hampton could do, as the penalty is about to expire. The puck's out to center. Bradley has to be aware of the man coming out of the box. He'll turn and fire it in on goal. Ernst can't glove it, but he leaves it there for McCardle. RPI unsuccessful on the power play. 2 minutes to go in the second. We have a 1-1 game. Nuclerio just out of the box, takes a shot, saved by Hackett. Stick to the near corner. Reno up the near wall. Cross ice feed too far for Wood. He'll track it down and fire it deep before taking a Wood hit from the other Wood. Far side now. Engineers look for the puck. It's Nanny trying to spin off the check of Gottlieb. Gottlieb does just enough to force the puck away from him. And now Lappin on the carry. Nick Lappin to the RPI zone. Far side circle, plays it off the back wall. And now Corcoran. He's knocked off the puck. Out to center comes Wood. Wood looking for another encounter with Tyler Wood. Instead runs into File. It's chipped off the glass and gloved down by Tommy Grant at center. Pushed around Grant by Corcoran. Picked up now. Prescott waiting at the near circle. Drop pass. New man into the zone is Wood. Fired wide. Far side circle now. File. Below the dots. His shot high and wide. Picked up by Gillespie. Engineers want to break. Bourbonnais. Good look ahead pass. Here comes Bourbonnais walking in. Save made. Rebound swept away. Back on it is Gillespie. Now Wood. Far side. Puck moved to center ice. Swatted away for a second by Grant. Engineers stay on side. That was a terrific outlet pass just prior go by Kenny Gillespie that set up that chance for Bourbonnais. Wasn't able to finish it off. 36 seconds to go in the period. As it's shot in deep by Schrader. First one to it, Tyler Wood, who's nearing the end of a shift here. He'll play it up the wall. It'll be dumped in by Prescott. Hackett stops it behind the RPI cage. Help to the near corner. Hampton even further around for Liljegren. Look ahead, fine for Schrader. Schrader walking in, slapper coming, saved by Ernst. Puck never really sat down for him, but Schrader got enough of it. He just couldn't stick it past Ernst. 10 seconds to go in the second period. Off the wall, it's Schrader. One-timer Liljegren, handcuffed him, didn't get any of it. Puck out to center. And now flipped into the offensive zone by Bradley as the horn sounds, ending period number 2. RPI able to get that tying goal on the power play. That leaves us at 1-1 after 40 minutes.
And honestly, RPI probably played their best hockey of the period at even strength in the last probably 2 minutes or so. Really doing what they do or have been doing best on this recent run in ECAC play, and that's counterattacking, moving the puck quickly, those good headman passes. It's creating, they just haven't been able to create any goals at even strength, but To be fair, neither has Brown, so the Engineers can keep themselves out of the penalty box, maybe build on the tying goal that they got in the second period and build on some of the jump that they have to their game when they decide to turn it on. Really kind of power their way through the center ice area and into the attacking zone the way they did late in this period. And they could be pulling themselves right back into this game and into their first lead. This is the type of game, like coming into the weekend, I said RPI had 2 games to play where they needed to kind of prove that they belonged where they've been so far early in the season toward the top and right now at the top of the ECAC table. Last night was kind of proving that they could run with a team that was supposed to be at the very top. They passed that test, they got 2 points. That's an important kind of prove it moment. Now, tonight and really the next game also on the road against Bentley next Friday, but let's kind of just push that off to the side for a little bit. We've got the here and now. If a team's going to be at the top of the ECAC, they have to be able to put away a team like Brown. And the challenge now, heading into the third period, is to really seize the moment and, in a close game, put away a scrappy Brown team.
Yeah, and on the other end of the spectrum, there is the fact that the league is so balanced. You look at last night, for example. Union, a team that may be struggling a little bit at this point in the season, were not able to put away the Bears, but it's seemingly any team at any night can come away with a win. There was obviously a marquee matchup last night with Quinnipiac and Harvard as far as the rankings are currently situated. But I think that's what makes it so tough is there aren't any easy outs. You look at a team like Brown that is struggling, you want to put a team away now as opposed to maybe when you're playing them when they're playing better hockey, when they'd be tougher to do so. So you're right, RPI at this point and in these current situations would be good for them to put them away.
Last season, the Engineers were swept by the Bears, and Brown is a team that did not pick up a lot of points last year. So the points that they did pick up against RPI were points that most of the rest of the league were picking up against Brown. At the end of the season, it's why RPI was playing in Potsdam the first weekend of the year, or the first weekend in March, and not playing a series here in Troy. So, every single game counts exactly the same amount in the standings. It's 2 points whether you can beat Yale or beat Brown. It's just that certain points are usually easier to come by. The challenge now for the Engineers is to prove it by seeing if they can complete the comeback in the third period.
That's certainly the case, and we'll take a quick break here and be back with our second intermission. Once again, your score after 2 periods is RPI 1 and Brown 1. You're listening to live coverage of RPI Hockey, 91.5 FM, WRPI Troy.
For all ages, and for more information, check out the program at services. All proud sponsors of RPI. Kids, if you have a junior engineer kids club member, experience an exciting world of RPI athletics. Kids club member benefits include birthday parties, meet and greets, and full RPI athletics access. Log on to RPIathletics.com for more information.
one power play shot for the Brown Bears on their 3 power plays. But Perry, that one power play shot did find the back of the net. So here we stand 1-1 with 20 minutes left in regulation.
You should ask more questions openly on the air and see if things happen. Where can I find a nice piece of cake around here?
No. Don't see anything happening.
No cake.
No.
Well, we tried. Try it again. Try again later on. Maybe there's not enough time between questions. Not sure what the delay is here. We have 20 minutes on the clock, and all 4 officials are at the near side penalty box area.
The referee's crease, as it were.
Yeah, it looks like maybe the ice looks a little bit wet. That's all I can think of right now. Maybe letting it dry a little, freeze up. I'm going to go with that.
It didn't seem to be any kind of, okay, well, let's go. They just kind of just skated out, and now we're apparently ready to play.
Here we go from the Houston Fieldhouse, RPI and Brown. Brand new hockey game to start the 3rd period. We're 1-1, and we're underway. Engineers skating once again from right to left. Good outlet pass to Victor Liljegren, although the puck hops off his stick and into the crowd. We'll have a stoppage just 12 seconds into the period.
As I mentioned late, or I should say after the 2nd period ended, a good team is going to find a way to finish this game off. RPI, we've seen them better recently. They've had a number of injuries. They aren't really at their 100% best, but a good team's going to find a way to finish this one off.
Face-off pushed into the Bears' end of the ice. And now Brown looks to break out into the skates of Bradley. Can't clear the zone. Walking right in. Lappin on the move. He scores! A kind of a jumble of a play at the RPI blue line. And Lappin was able to find a loose puck in the end and stick it home.
RPI basically getting fed a taste of their own medicine there. I mentioned that the Engineers looked good late in the period, counterattacking, moving quickly, and creating something while the puck was in motion. And that's exactly what Brown did right there. Essentially kind of creating a 2-on-none by slipping past the defenders at the very end of the run by the time that they got towards the goal line. It was pretty easy by that point to just slip it back behind Cam Hackett and make it a 2-1 game in favor of Brown. So the Bears once again have a lead in this game.
2-1 Brown. Engineers get the puck into the offensive zone. Shot comes, bouncing in on goal. Ernst is going to cover this one up. Miller was sprawled out on the play.
The goal scored by Nick Lappin, his 3rd of the season. And there should at least be, I think, 1 assist on that play. We'll see what that gets chalked up for.
Whoever was skating with him there.
27 seconds the time of the goal, so certainly not the start that the RPI was looking for.
Loose puck, middle of the Bears' end of the ice, cleared out to center. Reno fans on the puck. He'll have to track it down in his own end. Wilson lets it run near side, kept in momentarily, although it's blocked out up to center. Glove down by Lafferty, and the Bears take over in their own end. McCardle, far side, swept into the zone. Bears chase it down back there in the near corner. Wilson is being held up a bit. Kept in again by Lafferty. Far side shot coming. Save made by Hackett to the far side. Bird, he gets bumped off the puck. Taken over by Melanson up ahead for Miller. Or this is Melanson rather into the offensive zone. Steps around the check of Wood. Lafferty plays it behind after he intercepts. And it's played around far side by Brink. Brink to center ice. Little leave play. We'll have a stoppage.
The official scoring on Brown's 2nd goal, an even strength goal at 27 seconds of the 3rd period. Nick Lappin, as I mentioned, his 3rd of the season. The assists going to his line mates, Mark DeClario and Tommy Marchand. So 2 points apiece tonight for Marchand, who has a goal and an assist, and DeClario, who has 2 assists.
Face-off coming here in the Bears' end of the ice, played into the near corner for Fulton. He's wrapped up. Shue taken over. Far side corner penalty coming up here. They're going to get Fulton for a hold. They're going to get from behind. It's going to be a power play coming up for the Bears here as Travis Fulton goes off.
It was close to being hit from behind. I kind of winced as Fulton took his man into the boards, but a hold is the call. 2-minute penalty. Not what the Engineers needed right now, as they just fell behind in this game 2-1. And now Brown heading back to the power play. They're 1 for 3 tonight. So obviously we've seen them put one in on the power play already tonight. If they do it again here, really put the Engineers in a hole.
Far side File. Big kill here for RPI, though we are early in the third period. 2-1, Bears leading, shot in on goal, stick saved by Hackett. Naclerio, Lappin to the point, File keeps it in along the line. Now to the half boards, far side. Marchand just throws it into the corner. Naclerio, he's tied up. Prapaves is trying to weed it out of some skates, and now Marchand has it again. Naclerio in the corner, spins around, takes a look around, plays it back up the wall for Marchand. Or make it Lappin rather, centering pass all the way through. Picked up Gottlieb at the point, fed back to the far circle, walking in, Lappin a wrist, he scores! He found some room and buries it, it's 3-1 Bears.
And now the Engineers are really in a bad spot. A perfect shot, a perfect burial by Lappin for his second goal in, well, about 2 minutes. And now it's time to see what RPI has, if they can dig a little bit deeper here. They've had a rough go of it in the third period in the recent past. They gave up a game-tying goal last night, had to end up going into overtime. Now they trail by 2 at home. They do have about 17.5 minutes to get themselves back into this one. Let's see what they can do.
Puck in the Bears' end of the ice. Played far side by Middleton. Shot into the zone by Reno. Hard bounce off the backboards, picked up there by File. File up the wall, out to center. Controlled there by the Engineers. That was Rossi on the clear. Tipped back to the Bears blue line, but swatted back out to the other way, and the Engineers will have to regather. Down the middle of the ice, connect to Miller. Miller with it there. Far side for Orval. He gets dumped at the line. Bears take over once more. It's File in his own zone. Middleton shooting into the RPI zone. Hackett stops it there. Liljegren stick handling along his own blue line. Fires it far side for Melanson. Engineers are just onside. It's lost in some skates on the far side of the zone. Melanson lets it run. Miller can't handle it. Near side, here comes Bird. Bird flipping to center. Carried on by Willman. Max Willman into the offensive zone. All the way around off the side of the net. It's whipped into the air off a backhand. Played to the far side, half boards, jabbing at it. Prapaves shielding his Willman. He'll dump it in deeper. Bradley, he'll try the near side. Cannot keep it in. That was sure on the near side. Lafferty takes over. He gets it across the RPI line. He's dumped there by Miller. Puck shot the other way. Wood has to let it run. He was making a change there. He and McCardle nearly got into an awkward situation trying to avoid a too many men call. But we play on. 15:40 left in the third. Bears have a 3-1 lead. Prescott into the offensive zone. Lost it on the stick handle. A couple of teammates jumped offside. They touch up. Brown keeps it. Shu, far side. Flipping into the near corner of the RPI zone. Mears Moore. Off the glass. Gets it by Wood. They wave off the icing early on, as it did not have the legs anyway. Played around to the far side. Shu can't control Wood trying to jump in, but he overskates, and Shu has it. And he'll play it up the far boards. Carrying into the RPI zone is Corcoran. Corcoran moving in. Shot saved from a tight angle. Corcoran back on it. Behind for Prescott. Prescott on the backhand. Feeding it in front. Bouncing puck. And it was a good use of the goaltender stick by Hackett to break up the centering pass. There was a man waiting on the doorstep. Fulton picks up a loose puck at center. He'll skate into the offensive end with it. Just chips it deep. He'll go off in a change. Picked up by Naclerio. Third period is 5 minutes old. Good move by Orval to get free. He didn't control the puck, but gets some help from Wood, who dumps it in. Ernst stops it there. Played around to the far side. Marchand back behind the RPI goal to the near corner. Gillespie lets it run to the point. Kept in by Wilson. It'll rattle around to the far side circle. Picked up by Bourbonnais, the RPI goal scorer. Pass all the way across to Wilson. Firing a shot. Circle trickled in. It may have taken a deflection on its way through. Either way, it's 3-2.
They bounced off of something, I can tell you that, because Wilson was not the last person to touch it. If it was deflected in front, it was deflected by Kenny Gillespie. I think Ernst might have gotten a piece of it at some point, but it definitely redirected from the trajectory it had when it came off of Wilson's stick. And for the time being, at least, the Engineers have pulled within one. They are going to just go ahead and call it a goal. At first I thought they might be looking at reviewing it, but it's a big goal for the Engineers. It gets them right back into this one. They still got a little bit under 15 minutes left in this game. Now they only trail by 1. It's 3-2 Brown.
Center ice played ahead. Miller has it and his own red line, or at the only red line, I guess. He'll dump it in. I guess it's the RPI red line. It's their barn. Played out to center and controlled by File. He'll just dump it in. Prapavesis up the near wall. Marchand keeps it in. Bounces off the backboards, poked away by Hackett to the near side. Trying to shield away from Niclario as Miller gets it out to center. And File will track down that bouncing puck. Tipped into the RPI zone by Niclario. He'll get a change along with a couple of teammates. Shut up the near wall and tipped in by Fulton. They're giving the goal to Gillespie. It is his second of the year, second of his career, to make it 3-2. Out to center comes Lafferty, chipping into the RPI zone. Willman tied up. So is Lafferty by Schrader, but Lafferty slips away to the point. McCardle down low. Bouncing puck deflects away, helped away by Hackett. Now the Engineers can break if they can turn on the afterburners here. Fulton slowed up in the neutral zone. He just dump it in. Played around to the far side, kept in Reno. A shot deflects, never got to goal. Picked up by Gillespie. Back to Reno at the point. Near side, Wilson makes a move. Wilson walking in, a shot right on, and a save by Ernst. Looked like he saw it pretty well. He'll hold on.
A very nice move by Wilson to get another opportunity there. He wasn't credited with the goal. They're going to say it was tipped in front by Kenny Gillespie, the sophomore from Morrisville, South Carolina, with his second goal of the season. Assists going to Jared Wilson and Jesper Orval at 5:36. An even strength goal has this a 3-2 game.
One back to the point. Moore was met as he dumped in, but he gets it deep. It's controlled by Shu now for the Bears. Off the glass, all the way down the ice. Will it be icing? It's a race, and Hampton's going to win it for the icing call.
Didn't mention what is currently the leading goal. Game ended this way would be the game-winning goal. Nick Lappin with his second goal of the night and fourth of the season on power play at 2:29 of the third period. The assists were to Max Gottlieb and Mark Niclario. So Niclario now with an assist on all 3 of Brown's goals.
Puck moved out to center by Wood, the defenseman with speed. 3-on-2 as they hit the line. Wrist shot coming, saved by Hackett on the try from the far circle. Bouncing puck, Engineers have it in their own zone. Wood looking to feed it ahead for Liljegren. He went through his skates and will be icing. Liljegren thought he won the race, and he's upset. So is Wood. And now we're going to get a face-off. It looks like maybe in the zone.
Yeah, this shouldn't have been blown dead. Liljegren was the first one to the dot. He was pretty clearly in front of his man. They're supposed to blow it dead if it's a tie to the dot, and with the idea that it's, they don't want them rushing after the puck. This faceoff is going to go all the way back down in the RPI zone, and Seth Appert's not happy about it. He's jawing. The Engineer fans are jawing. It's hard to not say this shouldn't be a center ice faceoff because Liljegren pretty clearly beat out the icing, and now they are moving it back to center ice. So,
okay,
it's the way it should have gone, but Liljegren was pouncing on the puck, and the way RPI has played this season, if they can be the first one down and beat out icing chances, they've been able to quickly turn around and turn it into a scoring opportunity. So still a good whistle for Brown.
.12:18 to go in the third. 3-2, Bears leading it. We'll have a center ice face-off upcoming after the errant icing call. Prapavesis, far side, he threw it right into Marchand, and now Engineers recover in their own end. Bradley flips a puck up the far boards for Nanny, carrying in. Lou Nanny centering the pass all the way through. Sliding wide of the goal was Miller. Played around far side. Miller nearly threw his stick at the puck, and now it's out to center for Lappin. This is Nick Lappin into the zone. Pulls it back, throws it near side. File picks it up, throws it wide of goal. Lappin on the other end. Trying to spin off the pressure from Prapavesis. He's now tied up by Mike Prapavesis. That's Lappin. Kicks it to the far corner for Niclario. Mark Niclario centering, broken up by the Engineers. Skated out to center. Here comes Nanny with it. Pulls it back, top of the circle. Wrist shot coming. He fired wide. Got a lot on it. Kept in near point. No. Wilson skipped by him. Here comes Bird now with one man to beat. It's Reno. Takes a shot into the chest of Hackett. Picked up far side by the defenseman McCardle. McCardle gets dumped by Wilson. Bouncing puck towards the near point out to center. Sure. Back to the neutral zone. D for, or excuse me, he threw it far side for Lafferty. Stopped behind the net by Hackett. Wilson for RPI. Carries far side up ahead for Gillespie. Gillespie into the offensive zone. Shoots it off the far boards. He'll chase it down himself behind the goal. Takes a bump there from Scher. Now to the near side. Moore thought about jumping into the play. He was actually just off the bench, and so he couldn't keep the puck in at the line. Engineers shoot it in again. Around to the near side. It's Shrew. Shrew trying to get it out of the zone. Moore spins around to keep it in nicely. Schrader towards the net. He credit Gillespie with the screen. I don't think Ertz saw that shot at all.
I don't think he did, but it's still a bad goal for him to give up because he still got a piece of it. It just trickled behind him. Actually, no, the overhead shot said it got through cleanly, and I think he was basically screened by his own man.
Yeah.
That was Will Scherer who was screening him. Just like that, the Engineers tie it up 3-3. I was about to say that Brown could be a difficult team to play from behind against because they play kind of a left-wing lock and possession type of game once they've got a lead. But Engineers have gotten a couple of goals here in the third period to tie this one back up. It's 3-3.
3-3 the score. We're still halfway to go in this third period. Puck to the near corner. The goal for Schrader is his second of the season. As it's moved back towards the point. Well, it's actually Liljegren who stays on it in the near corner. Liljegren battling. Still Liljegren. One-handing it now. Trying to play it back to the point and does. Bradley flips it high in the air. Did it take a deflection? Yes, it did. Will stay in the offensive zone.
Scoring for the Engineers, 9:23 of the third period. An even strength goal by Zach Schrader, his second goal of the season. The lone assist on the tally going to RPI freshman Mears Moore, the Duluth, Minnesota native, with his third assist of his young collegiate career. Tie game with 9:56 left. It's 3-3.
Puck played around to the near side, bouncing there, backhand into front, jam try, rebound still loose, and it was Melanson who couldn't stick it home, and now the Bears clear. Melanson with a glorious opportunity to put RPI on top there, and he takes a little skate around and looks to the sky.
RPI has the initiative, and the Brown defense looking a little flustered now. I think they were hoping to try and sit on that two-goal lead. They were doing what they do, but RPI has found a way through, and they've managed to tie this game up. Now it's incumbent upon them to continue the momentum that they've built here.
Bears back behind their own goal. It's File down the middle of the ice. Creates some room for himself. Far side Marchant. Centering pass swept away by Reno, and then a couple of players go into the RPI net. Hackett gets spilled. He lost his blocker and his stick on the play. As he is slow to get up here. He looks to be all right. As
boy, that was eerily reminiscent of what we saw last Friday at Shield. Niclario, didn't see it fully, but I saw him bowling into Cam Hackett.
I'm going to want to see another look at it.
Seth Appert is screaming. I can hear him from up here, all the way up here. He's screaming at Lynch that there should be a penalty on the play.
Leclario didn't do a whole lot, in my opinion, after a second look. He did kind of turn into Hackett. He certainly didn't really try to avoid him, which I think was the issue there. He just kind of stopped. Outlet pass trying to find Melanson on the break. It was broken up nicely by McCardle. And now Wilson carries on further. Lost it in the neutral zone. Gets some help from Miller, who dumps it in. 9:16 to go in the third period. We're tied 3-3, RPI and Brown. The Bears scored two goals in this third period, but the Engineers came roaring back with two of their own. Kept in far side by the Bears. Walking in Rossi in on goal, and the save is made by Hackett. And now Middleton gets to mix it up here with Jesper Orval, and they'll need to be pried apart.
Well, I think Brown's starting to realize that they're kind of in the head when it comes to being anywhere near Cam Hackett, and RPI is going to be that much more defensive of their goaltender. Whether it was inadvertent or not, it was still a point of contention, and that's something that RPI is going to have to look out for as well. You need to defend your goaltender, but this is not the time to be taking a foolish penalty because 2 of Brown's 3 goals have come on the power play.
Near side, Orval off the half boards, played across for Prapavesis. He'll skate out to neutral ice with it. Prapavesis back to the near side for Orval with speed into the zone. Wrist shot coming, fired high and wide. Schrader at the far boards, keeps it in. Behind the net, slowed up by Orval, picked up by Gillespie. Now to the near corner for Orval. Waiting, centering, in front. Prapavesis couldn't control the pass. And he will keep it in the zone, however. Down low for Gillespie. Tried to one-hand it to the near side, picked up by Orval. Now back to Gillespie, back to Orval. Good connection here by this group. Orval trying to move it back to the point. He was tied up and hooked a bit by Wood. Moved on by Bird. He gets bumped by Bradley. To the near corner they go, it's Willman. 8:22 to go, third period. Prapavesis picks up a loose puck far side of the RPI zone. He'll take a look up ice and find Orval moving through the neutral zone. Jesper Orval on the attack now all by himself as his teammates change behind him. He'll play it down low. Gets dumped against the boards. And it's behind the Bears goal. Wood plays it far side. Up the wall by Brink. Engineers take over. Dangerous pass cross ice. Lappin was looking for the steal and potential hat trick try. File now in his own zone off the glass. Glove down by Liljegren. He needs to be the next one to touch it and does. Liljegren down low. Centering pass. One-timer Wood. Save made. And it's cleared away. Leclario in the far corner. Back behind it goes to the near side for File. File up the near wall. Lots of room on the far side of the ice. They find him. It's Leclario walking in a shot. Shoulder saved by the goaltender Hackett. And it's up into the netting.
Well, if RPI can't come away with a win in this game, they may only have themselves to blame as they've had plenty of opportunities to score. They're still pushing. We've seen some good play by Tim Ernst since he gave up that game-tying goal to Zach Schrader. But RPI has been getting some very glorious scoring opportunities in this one. They had 2 straight power plays in the first period where they were very unlucky not to score. Now they're getting to the point where they're sniffing. They smell some blood in the water. They'd like to get their first lead of the game, but so far the Brown defense holding strong against the red tide from the Engineers.
29-23, RPI with the edge in shots in this one. Game tied 3-3, offensive zone face-off win. It's Prescott for the Bears. Centering it off the stick. It goes back behind the net. Corcoran, now Brink. He's tied up. Back to Corcoran. Spins away from Reno. Corcoran on the backhand. One hands it behind the net to the far side for Brink. Brink watched by Miller. Brink still loose, takes a shot, trickling wide. There's a bit of a dance there in front of the RPI goal. Everyone seems to be all right. Centering pass in front, still loose. We get a whistle here. Hackett, spread eagle there, trying to keep it out of the net, and he does. And we get some more pushing and shoving in front of the RPI cage.
Alex Brink was trying to get himself into that situation. To some extent, once that whistle blows, you really just got to quit whatever you're doing. You don't need to keep heading in there, but not really a situation where they're going to call a penalty, especially in a tie game late in the third period. And it's going to have to be something more egregious than that to draw a call.
Draw coming here to the right of Hackett. Back behind the net it goes. Bradley up the near wall. Fulton couldn't find it. Back into the RPI end it goes. Prapavesis feeding it up the far boards. Gillespie finds it behind him, and he'll skate it into the offensive zone. Kenny Gillespie on the move. Credited with a goal here this evening. Back to the point, Prapavesis. Some space. Walking in, center blue line. He'll trade places. Bradley, a shot deflected and blocked all the way by Lappin. He'll skate back the other direction with it. Lappin into the offensive end. Still Lappin fires. Blocker save by Hackett. Couple players there playing a different game. Marchand and Fulton, they took each other out, and the Engineers head back the other direction here. Wave off the icing. Well, Drain did, and now he didn't. Steven Drain, the linesman here, with a quick no and then yes, icing on the Engineers.
And Bradley was trying to shuffle that one to Wood along the blue line, expecting that Wood was going to continue moving forward towards the near boards, but he kind of stopped, and the pass just ended up bouncing off the boards down the ice for icing. So just a miscommunication ends up with the puck back down in the RPI zone. 6:19 left in the third period, and we're going to get timeout by the Engineers off of the icing call. That will allow them to change their line if they so choose.
Still scoreless at Brandeis between Stevens and RPI in men's soccer action there in the 51st minute of play. That's NCAA men's soccer action. The Engineers are playing in their 7th ever NCAA tournament. And so we'll keep you updated on the score of that game as long as we are on the air here.
Shots are 29-25 in favor of the Engineers. 12 of those shots for RPI have been on the power play. And so far for this evening, RPI 1 for 4 on the man advantage. Brown is 2 for 4 on the man advantage. And we are tied 3-3. So the Engineers call timeout after the icing call. That's something that we see fairly frequently from the Engineers, but it also means they don't have their timeout for later in the game. And this is a very closely played game so far. There's nothing between them on the scoreboard. And you never know. You just never know if they're going to need that timeout later on.
Face off here in the defensive zone for the Engineers. Willman trying to jump on it for the Bears, and he does. Far side corner. Willman lost the handle on the stick handle. Then Pravovesas gave it right back to him. Up the wall, kept in by Lafferty. High in the air, glove down by Pravovesas. Another second clearing effort. Third try by Wood all the way down. This will be icing on RPI unless Liljegren can win the race. They wave it off. Wood and Liljegren going to the back wall. Liljegren trying to kick it to himself. Victor Liljegren in the near corner. Watched still by Tyler Wood. Now Jake Wood comes over for RPI, and he battles with Lafferty. Wood out of the corner. Back to the point. One-timer Wilson is blocked. Rebound loose, and a chance for a second for Bourbonnais, but he couldn't find it. It's cleared out to center by the Bears. Shot right back in by Reno. It'll carry him around behind the goal for Shu. Shu up the far boards. Willman lets it run. Lafferty trying to clear out to center and does. Engineers turn it right back around. It's Melanson into the zone. Near side circle, Melanson walking in. Looking to feed it in front. Drops it back to the near point for Wilson. Right back down low for Drew Melanson. Nanny trying to poke it through his teammates' skates to keep it. And Nanny now battles with Shu, who's being very aggressive with a stick. Poked loose and moved out to center. Corcoran one-on-one with Wilson. Into the offensive zone. Corcoran wrist shot blocked away by Wilson. Goes high and wide of the goal. Or onto the near corner now. Under 5 minutes to go in the third. We're tied at 3. Out to center by Miller. Turned right back into the zone by the Bears. It'll be stopped up there by Hackett. Hackett, he'll try to use the glass here. It comes down at the half wall. Chipped out to center by the Engineers. And into the RPI bench. We'll have a stoppage.
4:45 left in the third period. RPI and Brown tied at 3. Victor Liljegren getting the icing call the last time down the ice on a call that probably should have been blown dead, since it was kind of a tie, and it did end up being a race to the puck, which is what the hybrid icing is supposed to avoid, those collisions down on the end boards. But maybe a little bit of a makeup call from earlier, as the Engineers were unable to maintain momentum after an errant icing call.
McCardle at the point after a clean offensive zone win for Brown. McCardle just feeds it into the near corner. Lappin lets it run. Niclario behind the RPI goal, moves it back to the point. Shot coming, sure, never got to Hackett. Loose in the slot, still loose. Niclario shoots, saved by Hackett. Rebound still loose, and it's clear to the corner. Hackett didn't see the puck after he made the initial save. He got some help from some teammates there. There goes Pravovesas and company just sweeping it away. Still out of danger, not out of danger of the Engineers, although Pravovesas will pick this one up and move it back slowly to Bradley. Down the middle of the ice and wide of goal. Did that catch a piece of the goaltender, Ernst? No. Icing is called. I thought it might have clipped his toe. And then we have Bourbonnais pairing off after the play.
RPI's got to be playing a little more heads up in the neutral zone. They can't be that close to the red line and just firing it down the ice like that. And that's giving Brown too many opportunities down in the zone. They really have to be spending more time making this Bears team earn their offensive zone possessions by way of more than just a face-off victory.
Draw coming here to the right of Hackett. Engineers have it. It's Wood. Near side. Didn't get anything on the clearing attempt, but did get it out to center. That's where File has it for Brown. Brown, the crossing center, did he? They'll say he did. Pravovesas far side of his own zone. Bouncing puck, goal line extended in front. Loose in the crease. Who wants it? Nobody. File keeps it in at the line. Makes a move around Gillespie. Near side Bird. A shot deflects. Still loose in the crease. And the Engineers clear back to the point. Shot coming. Down on his backside is Hackett. The puck's in the corner, now behind the goal. Bears putting on some pressure here, but the Engineers dodging bullets as Gillespie carries back the other way. Into the offensive end, he runs into File. 3:20 to go in the third. 3-3 game. Here comes Lafferty now for the Bears. Far side of his own zone. Now back to File as Brown will recycle the attack here. Making a move, Willman down the middle of the ice. Willman gets free, pulls it back, takes a shot, he fired wide. Hits off the back of the RPI net. Wilson there has his stick caught for a second. And now he'll pick up the puck and move it to the far corner. Being hooked at by Prescott, and nothing coming as it's moved out to center by Nanny. Turned around in the Brown end by Wood. It's fired right back through him, wave off the icing. Ernst plays it behind his own goal for Shu, and now near side for Wood. Corcoran out of the Bears end of the ice and in deep on the dump in. Moore in the far side, wraps it to the far point. Kept in there, bouncing puck back for Mearsmore, who controls behind his own goal. 2.5 to play in regulation. Engineers have gone to overtime, and now 3 straight games coming into play, and we're going to get a icing here on the Engineers.
Need a little bit more patience with the puck. If you're RPI, they're kind of whipping at it, and that one was from well within their own zone as it was sent all the way down the ice. And with no timeout left, they've got to really be working a little bit harder to dig this puck out. There's some tired legs out there for the Engineers right now.
Clean win by the Bears, but it gets right by the man at the blue line. That was McCardle. Break for RPI as they're able to change. You are listening to live coverage of RPI Hockey, 91.5 FM, WRPI Troy. Perry Lascaris, Tom Reel from the Houston Fieldhouse, 3-3. RPI and Brown on this fine Saturday evening in Troy, New York. We are 2 minutes to go in regulation time. Both of these teams looking for the full 4 points on the weekend. There's a puck glove down at center ice by Marchant. Although he had a teammate way offside, he'll backtrack to his own zone on the pass. Leclario gets hit by Wood. Bourbonnais feeds it in the air, deflected into the scorer's box. Watch out, Al. I don't think he was looking for that one. Our public address announcer, Al Shibley, also does PA for football games up at East Campus Stadium, and that puck could have hit him. He wouldn't have known anything of it.
1:44 left in regulation. Tied at 3. The faceoff comes up at center ice.
Moved it back to the RPI zone. Krapavessis feeds it through for Fulton. 3 Engineers hit the line. Fulton moves it in. Drop pass for Gillespie. Couldn't control it. And it's poked out to center by Willman. Dangerous attempt there by Krapavessis. Tried to maybe jump that play and just got enough of it to slow the Bears out of their own end. Now Gillespie shoots it into the offensive zone. Taken over by File. 1:20 to go in regulation time. Fans trying to get behind the Engineers here. Near side, Lafferty lost it on the stick handle. Taken over by RPI in their own end. Krapavessis to center off the skate of Schrader. He can't control. Bears jump into the offensive zone. It's Marchand. A shot high and wide. Karam's down to the near side of the net. It gets kicked off. Lappin is sitting in the crease with Krapavessis, and we get a whistle.
They're not going to let RPI change on this one, even though Hackett was basically there and was covering it at the time he kicked the net off. So maybe a little bit of a break for Brown there, as it was probably going to get a whistle anyway. The faceoff is going to be in the zone as it would have otherwise, but RPI not going to be allowed to change, and Brown will have the personnel out that they want with 1:02 left in the third period. A tie game and a faceoff coming up for them in the offensive zone.
RPI has scored. Nathaniel Gunderson in the 54th minute. RPI leading Stevens 1-0 in the NCAA regional or NCAA first round game. So we have an offside. Excuse me. You're right, Tom. Interesting events going on over at Brandeis. Engineers trying to advance to the second round for the second straight tournament. They were there in 2012 when they played at Swarthmore. 58.7 on the clock. Neutral ice face-off. Just kind of tied up on the dot. No one can pry it out of there. Now the Engineers do. Back to their own zone. Far side, it's going to be shot in by Reno. Wrap it around to the near side, Melanson. Melanson's tied up there by Wood. Out of the corner, Melanson looking to cycle. Lost it. Flipped out to center ice. Glove down by Wilson, who shoots it right back in. 35 ticks to go. Ernst stops it behind the net. McCardle has it there. Trying to use the net as a screen to get away from Nanny. McCardle will work it on the far side on the backhand. Shot near side by Wood. Jumped on by Melanson. He can't control it. Wood chipping near side into the zone. Look like they're offside. And we get a whistle here for that infraction.
I have a late whistle. as Brown was well offside for a while before RPI ended up playing with the puck in the neutral zone area. So with 20.2 seconds left, the face-off comes up in the neutral zone. Is Brown going to call their timeout? Nope, they're just moving the face-off to center ice as opposed to being closer to the RPI blue line.
Center ice draw worked out here. Up the far boards, bouncing and worked into the offensive end by Wood. He'll try and chase it down. Files the first one to it for the Bears. Off the glass, knocked down Liljegren. Can he keep it in? No. Shot into the zone. Huge hit by Bourbonnais. As now Bird is very slow to get up along the near side wall, and that'll do it for the frame. A punctuation mark to the end of regulation as Bird is still on one knee on the near side. I'm not sure he saw Bourbonnais, and he lit him up there.
Well, the Cardiac kids are at it again, the fourth straight night. And they're off to extra hockey. And they are 2-0-1 over the last 3 games they've played in overtime. It's got to be some kind of a record. I can't imagine 4 consecutive games going to overtime. But here we are. Certainly not the cakewalk that anyone might have thought that Brown could be, given the poor state of their defense heading into this game, although they did do enough last night to win. Both these teams played overtime last night, and both these teams came up with a winner. That can't possibly happen here tonight, so we'll see if anyone's able to score the 4th goal for either of these 2 teams and pick up both of the league points that are at stake. If you're RPI, this is not a tie that I think you would be real happy with, even though they did have to come back from a 2-goal deficit in the 3rd period to reach this point. But at the same time, having come back, they certainly don't want to lose that point either. So we'll see exactly how this all ends up playing out. Brown does still have their timeout at their disposal, and the Engineers have used their timeout. And so the goaltenders switch sides once again. Cam Hackett now to our left, Tim Ernst to our right. Do the Engineers have a little bit more magic left in them? We're about to find out.
RPI did go to overtime in 3 straight games in 2012-13. I haven't found anything longer than that. They played Ferris, Minnesota State, and Minnesota State Mankato. That's being the same team, of course. In 3 straight this early on in the season. There's 3 in a row. So yeah, 4 in a row. I'll have to look into the archives for that one. But we will have 4 in a row here. 2 in the North Country last weekend, 1 last night against Yale, and 1 tonight here against Brown. RPI 2-0-1 in overtime games this year. All a part of that 5-game unbeaten streak for the Engineers. Puck behind the net. Hackett's going to need to quickly get back in front of his cage as he played it out to center now by Wood. Liljegren, and now taken over by Gottlieb. 4:45 left. We are early here in OT. Bradley off the far boards out to center ice. Can't control the pass. Liljegren picked up by the Bears. Down the middle. Taken over by Wood. Woods carrying into the offensive zone. Makes a move. Still Wood. Shot coming wide of Ernst. Miller in the far corner now. Up the boards towards the point. Backing off are the Engineers. Bears trying to hurry out of there. It's 3-on-3 as they hit the RPI line. Shot coming. Saved by Hackett. Loose puck. Nice play by Reno to just shield marching out of there. And now the Engineers dump it in. Played behind Miller, trying to stay on the puck. Around to the far side it goes. Now Bird shooting it near side out to center. Reno takes a look around and just shoots it right back to the offensive zone. Gottlieb near side. Shot off the boards out to center ice. Prapavesis will play it. Tried to hand it off to Bradley. He wasn't ready for it. Now Willman just takes a tumble into the offensive zone. Puck played around to the near side for Nanny. Nanny wrapped up by Lafferty. Off the boards comes Prapavesis. Shot near side. Into the stride of Melanson. Melanson trying to make a move around Wood, who's played a solid defensive game so far here for Brown this evening. To the near corner goes for Melanson. 3.5 to go in OT in a 3-3 game. RPI and Brown. Nanny picks the puck out of the scrum, and now he's tied up in the near corner. Melanson moving out of there. It's intercepted by McCardle, and he'll navigate his own zone before moving it ahead for Bird. Bird to the RPI line, tipped in deep by Willman. Engineers will track it down. Prapavesis from behind his own cage. Overtime is 2 minutes old. Kraboves's stick handling neatly by Corcoran, tipped in deep by Bourbonnais. It'll be tracked down in the corner. And taking a hit there was Gottlieb, but he got the pass away for File. Near side is Prescott. He gets taken over, chipped into the zone by Wood. That's as far as he gets. It's right back out to center. Picked up Parker Reno. Has time to look around and just fire it in. File far side corner. Gets run into by Bourbonnais. Bourbonnais kicking at it, trying to step through that check. Prescott plays it near side for Gottlieb. Gottlieb down the middle. Pass was popped into the air. And now a chance for Corcoran. Man breaking to the net. Corcoran looking to feed it in front. And Brink never saw it. He was tied up nicely by the man on the back check. Now we get a penalty coming up here. The Engineers are going to get Bourbonnais. And the fans aren't going to like this one. It's going to be an elbowing. 2:21 to go in the extra session. And now really RPI almost playing for a tie here.
Yeah, it really puts them behind the 8 ball now. And I think it's a little bit light to be calling that one in the overtime period. Wasn't a terribly dangerous maneuver, and it came really just on the heels of Reno getting taken down that created a 2-on-1 for Brown. So,
well,
say what you will. It's going to be a power play for Brown here in the extra period. That's an elbowing call against Bourbonnais with 2:21 left. Basically puts RPI on the penalty kill for the rest of the game for the most part.
Engineers are tied for the national lead in shorthanded goals, although their top shorty man is Milos Bubella, and he's not dressed. They'll look to kill this one off here. As it's Naclario along the near boards. Engineers shorthanded here in overtime. Lappin to the high slot. Shot coming File. Rebound poked free by Miller. Needed to get there before Marchand could. Behind the net now Naclario. Tied up. Poked free to the far corner. Marchand has it. Fed down the middle by File and out of the zone. Bears pick the puck up in their own zone. 1:53 left in OT. As it's skated down the middle of the ice. Gottlieb, File, shoots it in. It'll ring around to the near side. Bouncing puck behind the goal, swatted at and now controlled by Naclario. He'll work it down low for Lappin, or make it Marchand rather. Engineers take it away. Wood, high in the air down the middle of the ice. Gottlieb will control, watched by Nanny. Nanny roughs him up, trying to find the puck. Now he'll just go off on a change after wasting a bit of that time there. Minute to go in the power play, minute 20 or so in OT. Nice move, Lappin takes the shot, saved by Hackett on the right pad. Tie up in the near corner now of the RPI zone. Kraboves's there with Schrader. Corcoran for the Bears with Willman. Corcoran on it, back to the point. Walking in Lafferty, far side, wrist shot coming, was blocked on the dive by Bradley. Near side, Lafferty, far side circle. Corcoran back up top again for Shue. Now down low, into the slot, a shot coming, Bird, rebound! Where's the puck?
I think it's in the net, to be honest with you.
The puck's in the net, but no whistle went, and the net's off.
The net came loose. The referee emphatically waved off.
He waved off the goal. That was the first thing that happened.
Boy, there was a whole weird set of things. They're going to look this over.
I guess.
I think the puck ended up in the net.
It did.
It really did.
It had to. I don't know where else it could have gone.
They're calling it no goal, but it definitely has to be reviewed.
Yeah.
The net coming loose in and of itself is not going to be enough cause to say that it's not going to be a goal, because as long as the puck was shot ahead of time, it's going to be close. I'm going to say, this is going to count. This is definitely going to count.
Yeah, this game's over.
The puck was well in the net by the time, and the puck was still well on its pegs too. This game is going to end in a loss for the Engineers. I think you're going to credit this goal to probably Max Willman, maybe. I think
that's Willman. Willman was the one who got a touch on it.
He got into it. It was
unless they
Schrader crashed into the net. The referee couldn't see the puck because Schrader was in the net. But it's going to be a goal for Brown here, and a rough loss for the Engineers.
Unless they rule that Willman hit it with his hand intentionally, which is a little bit far-fetched at this point, but it looked like it could have been the case. I kind of want to see it again. I've already seen it 4 times, but I'm being very greedy.
I have a very distinct. I have a very distinct.
I think you're right.
It's probably going to be a goal.
I believe you're right.
just the emphaticness with which the referee behind the net was saying that it was not a goal was due large in part because Zach Schrader's entire body was in the goal, which made it difficult for him to see where the puck was since the puck was sitting in the crease. The puck was behind Cam Hackett, and it was poked in well before the net came off. So if that's the net being off its moorings, really doesn't have no bearing on this at all.
It depends on whether was the original reason he was waving off because he thought that he hit it in with his hand is the question. I don't know.
The crowd's not going to like it.
No, they're not. It's going to be a goal.
But it's going to stand up. And the primary thing is going to be that, you know, it was called no goal on the ice, and then they're going to probably call this a goal. It's a tough way to lose, but RPI has had their chances in this game, and they really need to, you know, they're going to have to take a deep look in the mirror.
No, definitely.
It's going to be a goal. It bounced. In fact, I think it might have been Schrader's stick that ended up putting it off of Cam Hackett's skate and into the net.
That's all I needed to see. That's all I needed to see. That's a goal.
That's got to be a goal. I don't see any possible way this could be overturned. Well, upheld, I should say, since it was called no goal on the ice.
Right. That's really the only saving grace for RPI, is it was ruled no goal on the ice. But from what we've seen, there's no way they.
But they're still looking at it.
I'm not sure why they're looking at it.
They're still looking at it.
To be honest.
There was no goaltender interference. There was no man in the crease. The only person that was in the crease was Max Willman, but he certainly followed the puck into the crease, so it's a legal play.
Yeah.
Looks like they're coming out.
They're coming up. They're not going to be happy with this one.
No, they're still congregating. I don't know.
What is there to talk about?
Just wondering how they're going to get out of here. I mean, that's because the RPI crowd has been known to get a little bit rowdy when they get upset, and this is probably going to be an upsetting call.
Oh yeah. I'm just waiting for it.
If this gets waved off, then RPI has escaped with potentially.
What is there? If it's a goal, what are they talking about? Right?
Unless they're trying to clarify with each other what the rules are. All four of the referees are together, just huddling. Usually when the referee comes out of the video booth, he has a firm answer. He either waves his arms or he points to center ice. We were fully expecting to come out and point to center ice. I don't know what they're talking about now. Now we start to wonder exactly what.
Yeah.
Wow, they waved it off.
I need to hear an explanation for this.
He's going to, I mean, Brendan Whitted is getting his explanation, and he doesn't look overly upset, but I think if he was looking at the views that we were looking at, I think he would be. I can't imagine. They haven't said why it was not called a goal, and I can't imagine why it wouldn't be a goal. This is something here. I mean,
what could that possibly be?
I'm gonna have.
They're showing it. That's why I'm saying it.
I must know why this was not a goal, because I mean, that could just be some really bad officiating. We've seen it certainly. We've seen it certainly over the last couple of weeks, and it's been a matter of contention. If RPI gets out of here with a point, they have.
That's a free point.
That's a free point that they honestly don't deserve, because at this point, with the goal in overtime, Brown's earned the 2 points. As far as I'm concerned, and until I get an explanation, that's a goal. That should have been a goal for Brown, and I don't understand
there could
why.
be something I don't know.
There's everything that we usually go over. We kind of checked it all off. And there didn't seem to be a rational explanation for it.
The fact that this explanation needed to be had on the far side is taking almost as long as the review tells you something.
So this game is set to end in controversy, really, no matter what.
No matter what.
Nobody seems to be happy anymore. The RPI crowd is unhappy with the Brown bench for looking for an explanation. I think the Brown bench is fully justified in being upset with whatever the ruling is. Just looking at the body language of Brendan Whitted, he's not buying what is being sold to him by Cameron Lynch.
Yeah.
It's
all right. Well,
but we do still have 41.9 seconds.
We still have to play hockey.
We still have to play hockey. Brown, they've got their opportunity to right this and make this end the way
they're still on the
it
power
probably
play,
should.
right?
Yeah, they still have 21 seconds of power play time left.
Timeout, Brown.
Now Brown's calling timeout, probably
to argue the call. No.
Well, Whitted is still jawing at the referees, although the referees are now all the way across the ice. And
okay, well,
I don't know. I can't. I'm not going to sleep tonight if I don't find out why this was not a goal.
Yeah.
And this is, you know, I've run an RPI hockey blog for the last 6 years. All right, I'm a fan as well as an impassioned commentator when it comes to RPI hockey, and I'm sitting here telling you, if you're listening, if you can hear my voice, if you're watching on RPI TV, if you're listening on WRPI, with every fiber of my being, I believe that was a goal for Brown, and there's no explanation that is coming to my mind that would tell me otherwise. So I must know, I really must, because RPI is getting away with murder here.
All right.
Am I being emphatic enough?
I think you are.
Okay. I want to make
Tom,
this,
I think you've made your point.
I want to make this excruciatingly clear.
Okay. Well, hockey sometimes works itself out. We'll see what happens here.
It's a funny game, Marty.
All right. Well, we're eventually going to play again. 21 seconds left on the Bourbonnais penalty, 41.9 left in overtime. 3-3 RPI and Brown. A very controversial goal has been waved off, or a very controversial non-goal has been not turned to a goal, however you want to look at it. Foul, near point, slap shot coming, blocked by Miller. To the near side, Prapavesis. Miller trying to steer it out of his own, can't do so. Foul, cross-ice, feet along the line. To the point now, Gottlieb down low, they work it. Leclario. Behind the net, Prapavesis. Out of the box comes Bourbonnais in 1 second. We're back to even the strength, and now it's Miller out of the zone. Into the offensive end, Miller on the move. Miller down low, below the goal line with 13. Wraparound try thrown in front. Jumping up, Prapavesis trying to keep it in the zone and does with 8. Loose puck at the side. Picked up, clearing attempt to the far side with 3. A shot by Bradley, deflects into the near side corner with 1, and that will do it. The Engineers somehow, some way, get a point tonight. I don't know.
Yeah, I'm out of words here. I don't know what to say about this, because this is a free point for RPI. I don't know. I really don't know. I mean, I'm rarely left speechless, and I just have been. Brendan Whitted is back over talking to Cameron Lynch as the teams line up and shake hands. I don't know what's going on here. Seth Effort's long gone. I think he understands. I think he understands what's going on here. I mean, it's
if RPI was the road team tonight, they'd already be on the bus.
This is the type of things that we've seen RPI fans in the past just. When it's going against RPI, just holding up their arms and just saying, why does this happen? But the shoe is now on the other foot, and I can't say it feels much better. I mean, you want these games to end the way your eyes tell you that they should end, and my eyes tell me that Brown won this game in overtime. So you can't discard it if you're RPI. It's another point. It's another they're still undefeated in ECAC play. Obviously, this is a game where they needed to show a little bit more, but I don't feel really bad at all saying that they didn't deserve to get a point tonight, and Brown played their rear ends off here. They did what they needed to do. Maybe it was kind of a weakish power play for Brown to pick up during the extra session, but they got it. They made the most of it. Until someone comes over here and tells me exactly why that wasn't a goal, I'm going to be highly unsatisfied with the way this all played out. It's rare that you take a team that you follow and say they should have lost, but RPI should have lost tonight, and that's only to their benefit late in the season. We'll have to see on which end of 1 point they end up at the end of the season, and to come back to this game and say, well, there it is. There was the point.
Well, lost in all that ended at the end of that game. The Engineers did not start out that third period very well. They gave up the 2 goals to go down by 2. But again, RPI found a way to come back and put themselves in a situation where a disallowed goal, whether you like it or not, they made that play matter. You know what I mean? That play happened in overtime. We only get to overtime if the Engineers come back and tie this one at 3. So you got to give credit there to RPI. They're able to score those goals and come back and at least in that sense earn the point.
They earned it in as much as they didn't quit when they were down by 2. We've seen RPI teams in the recent past, a 2-goal deficit in the third period might as well have been 20, because they just weren't interested in doing the work that they needed to come back. But they did tonight. They really kind of dug down and they got themselves back into this game. They got themselves back to overtime, which is where they've been quite frequently this season and very recently. And in that sense, yeah, you can say that they earned a point, but just, you know, the gist of it just doesn't seem to add up in the end. When you account for the fact that we looked at it once and we were like, oh yeah, that's a goal. We looked at it twice and we said, oh yeah, that's a goal. And we looked at it 3 or 4 more times and we're trying to find possible ways to overturn this, not finding them. Then to have the referee come out of the video box and not give a call, and then spend a good 90 seconds conferring with his colleagues